Hey, you powerful brain, you? Okay, I'm glad that you're here with me again. And today we're going to look at what is really in the permanent memory sphere. Okay, so we are going to build something amazing. Okay, a while ago, a very wise friend of mine told me a story about a house. 100 houses supposed to be built, and most people, they run around like children, putting a few bricks there, trying to put a door in, then not enough bricks yet, or trying to put a window in before the foundation is built. And they're running around to all these different houses, 100 houses, and not building one of them. So what we need to do is, and we're starting today, building one house, brick by brick, in the permanent memory sphere. So it's in the right environment. We're starting with the foundations, and then we're building brick by brick, putting the doors in, the windows in, putting the roof on top. And it will take some time. So we're going to take 27 steps, okay? They are all manageable. Those are the 27 magic words. And 9 out of those are the deities, okay? They are the God words, okay? So I'm going to share that with you. So if you bear with me for a moment, I just have to move something here. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm now going to share my screen. So there you are. Okay. So this would work for me, this works for you. So we are looking at, we've got 1 billion bricks, okay, or 1 billion things to to build these 100 houses. But we only want to build one at a time, okay, one house at a time. And so that represents the one here. This is the first brick number 1. But one brick by itself is not really effective. So what we want to do is we want to use 10 bricks. So we are getting 10 bricks and build them on top of each other the way bricks supposed to be put on top. Okay, so it's stable. Okay, so in our terms here, when we are using words, so if we every time have to say 1,101,000,000 or 1,250,000,000 or 1,153,000,000 or whatever is too much. Okay, so we just want to say the number 1. So the number 1 is now placed here, because the 0 is the permanent memory sphere. So always the last 0 or the last 2 zeros is the permanent memory sphere. So it means that we have stuck something into the permanent memory sphere. And the number 1 is here. That's the item. That's the first word, existence. Okay? And in order to put existence somewhere, you need an environment. And this is the first environment. 100 is a desert. So 100 is the desert. And the first item, here the first item is existence. So here it says it's the first item. And it's in the permanent memory sphere, in an environment which is the desert. So we are in an environment, the desert. And in the environment, the desert, is the word existence. I'm not here to explain to you what existence is, you can look it up yourself. So I'm phonetically sounding it out. Existence. Okay, if I say existence, it sounds a little bit like egg. So egg, kusse. It sounds like case. Okay, so you have to imagine a case. So if you don't understand where I've got the case from, then you need to go back to previous videos or send me an email down under this video. There's my email address, and then get in touch with me and I will explain to you where I've got the word case from, or you can buy 5-minute videos. One of them would cost $8.60, so you can purchase them. But you also can do it on a one-on-one basis. You can have trial sessions with me over Zoom. Okay, so having said that, so if I say existence, I say kusse. Yeah, you hear the sound? That's a case. I'm sounding it out. So there's a case now standing in the desert. Okay, and since you're new to this, so that would be enough for me, but I'll do a little bit more. So tunne is a tin, you know, an aluminium tin, or made out of tin, like a Coke tin, a Coca-Cola tin, or baked bean tin. It's a silver tin. So, and this case is made out of tin, a tin case, standing in the middle of the desert. And now my imagination comes in. Why is it there? And I have to tell you a little story. That's my story. You can use it, expand on it, or tell your own little story. You have to use the words desert, tin, which is toes, case, and tin. And then the word existence, even if you don't know what it means. You just make it up. You decide what it means. Okay, so I'm in the desert, and like with water, I stick my toes into the sand to test if it's too hot, but I think I can manage. So I'm barefoot in the desert, like on the beach, but it's in the desert, and that hot sand engulfs my feet. So I'm there. Those are my toes in the desert. And there's a case standing there, a tin case, or a case made out of tin. And on top of it, it says, do not open. And a shaman comes along at that particular time, and he says, do absolutely not open the case. Because if you do, you get sucked into it and you stop to exist. Everything stops to exist. And then as soon as you get sucked in, you reappear here in the desert again, sticking your toes into the sand, wanting to open the case, although I warned you, and then you stop existing again. You get sucked into the case if you open it. So don't do it. So here's my story, okay? And this is what happens in the permanent memory space. So I'm personally involved. I had an experience. Then word number 2 is not actually the opposite, non-existence, but it's substantiality. You know, when things, it's another word for existence, substantiality. And so here we are at 30. So 30 is a moose. And if you don't know what a moose is, just the same thing. If you don't know what a case is, get in touch with me and we do sessions on that. And so here again, we're still in the desert. So we're in a desert. and there's a moose. And then there's a sub. Don't think submarine or whatever. I'm not inventing these words. I've learned these phonetics, these consonant combinations, the pairs of consonants. I've learned them way before. So sub for me is to take a sip out of a soup. There's one way of doing it. But today I want to use the word soap. Okay, soap. And then you can use ST as a CD, and nupte is a net, and le, de is a lid. But I don't need all these words. There is no other word. These 27 words, they have no sub at the beginning, so it only can be substantiality. So the soap will help me to do so. Okay, so there's a moose washing himself with soap, amazing soap, in the desert. And the more he's washing himself, the more sand sticks on his fur. So he's there up to eternity washing himself with soap, trying to get rid of the sand. And there's always more and more sand coming in. And this is how sand dunes appear. So they're basically moose washing sand dunes, but they're so covered in sand, we don't know that anymore. So that's in my imagination. That is substantiality, because these dunes, they really exist. Okay. Okay, you have to have a sense of humor and expand your imagination. I've never ever told the story to anyone ever before. I just invented it here. And what I do is, after doing 3 of those, I usually stop. But today we will do a 4th one. So here's the 3rd one. So 90 is a bus in a desert. And le is a rail. Okay, so there's a bus on a rail and it's passing you by. And you think, oh my God, they didn't see me. They're leaving me here to die. I'm going to die of thirst in the desert. And as soon as I'm thinking that, there's another tin bus coming along and stops and picks me up and gives me something to drink. Okay, so that's realization. No. Relation, sorry. Relation, like relationship, like in a relationship. Sorry, relation. And to stop on today, we're looking at 250. Okay, so 50 is lessee. But what is 2? 2 is an N. So that's nobility. And that's the environment, and where all the aristocrats are. And they usually live in a castle, So there's a huge castle in front of me. And I'm throwing lessee a coin up in the air, and lessee is catching it like a frisbee. Okay, so those are my stories. Okay, so now I'm going to stop the sharing and I'm going to close my eyes. Otherwise you think I'm reading it off. So just like you have learned it now, just like you can do it, I'm showing you what you have to do. Okay, so it is easier to say the numbers first and then the words. Okay, so the first word is, remember, it's the 1 in the middle. So there's a 1 at the front, and in the middle is the 1, that's the first word, and the 0. The 0 means it's in the permanent memory sphere. That's the environment. So the environment is the 1 at the beginning, that's a desert. And then the 1 with the 0 forms the 10. Okay, So I'm just saying then 110 is desert, 130 is substantiality, 190 is relation, and 250 is quantity. So there you go. And you can do that as well. And so please get in touch with me if you do not know what I mean with toes and case and tin. What do I mean by moose and soap? Where did I get those words from? What else did we have? Bus and rail and lessee and coin. Where do I get these words from? How did I do that? So get in touch with me about this. But if you understand what I did, or you can deal with it, well, then stick to these videos. Otherwise, you have to go to previous ones or get in touch with me. Okay. So thank you very much for listening. And I see you next time. Okay. Take care. Bye.